talking. If you'd like to come with me, I'll introduce you to Colonel Thrush, who will give you a briefing and take you through the rest of the setup.
See you in Berlin, Mimi.
Brilliant. There's a purpose in that.
See, that won't going to happen. They won't be throwing all over them.
Keep coming, there's plenty more behind you. Have a seat. Right, can you all see how many have we got? I think we've got somewhere over 20. What I'll probably do then is, before you go on to the next stage, split you in two. So I'll keep the uniform contingent back for an additional briefing. I know they'll enjoy that, because that makes it easier to get through the next part of the tour. Welcome to Brigade Headquarters. It's the 6th of June 1917. It's the day before the big attack which we intend to put in on the Messines Ridge. Now the British Army has been in Belgium since 1914 around the Ypres sector, mostly on the back foot. Now Ypres is the last major town in Belgium which is still in Allied hands. So more for political reasons than military ones, we have to continue to hold this to give some hope and some spirit to our Belgian allies. Otherwise we would probably have withdrawn from this sector. Now one reason we're on the back foot, and this is pretty much true right the way down through the Western Front, is that the Germans, as they pushed across Belgium and France, they tended to take possession of the high ground because that is easily defendable and it means they can look down upon what we're doing. And if we look at this map of the Messines sector, all these red lines here, these are all the German positions along the top of the ridge and just behind. So this is what we have to try and take on and crack in battle tomorrow. Now for the last 18 months or so, we've been engaged in some fairly major operations. Battles at Loos, battles along the Somme, and earlier this year at Ypres. And they've tended to fall into a pretty set pattern. First day, we make inroads, we get some successes, but we're unable to exploit those successes, and the battles develop into a stalemate with heavy casualties on both sides. First and second Ypres in 1914-1915 were very similar, and 1915 in March, that was when the Germans used gas for the first time in quantity. So it's a pretty nasty sector out here. We at 2nd Army have been analysing those previous battles, and we think this time we've come up with a set of strategies using the latest tactics and technology which will hopefully give us a successful outcome to tomorrow's battle. Now information is key. We must know how our infantry is doing once battle is joined. We must know if our artillery is destroying the targets which we've set for it. And we must know what the enemy is doing to counteract our attack. And this is where the Royal Flying Corps, as you've just seen, comes into its own. In the early months of 1917 they fought a desperate battle for control of the skies, but now we have aerial superiority. So we have 300 odd machines in this sector, most of them engaged in photographic reconnaissance missions. We have photographed every inch of this battlefield. And we have identified, for example, in this central sector that the Germans have 300 heavy guns with which to bombard our front lines and beyond. So we have brought up 300 of our own heavy howitzers and guns specifically targeted with destroying those batteries on a one-to-one basis. We also have 2,500 pieces of field artillery, 18-pounders, 4.5-inch howitzers, and they since May Day have been plastering this whole area with high explosive, gas and shrapnel. Their job is to cut the wire that separates us in no man's land, to destroy enemy machine gun positions, strong points and entrances to the dugouts.
Excuse me sir, sorry to interrupt.
Yes sir.
But we need some help in the tunnel, and we've got some volunteers, if that's okay if we just take these out.
Carry on.
Thanks sir.
Yes, so the barrage is designed to destroy